I'm just going to go and get started. How y'all doing? Good morning, everybody. Wanted to go ahead and do a live update here for folks getting ready for the action which will be firing off heading into this afternoon and going into later tonight, and then again going through it tomorrow. We got a lot to talk about as we're expecting a very busy day ahead. So let's go ahead and break this down. Let's look at the latest here from the Storm Prediction Center as we're going to kind of look at the breakdown of the elements today as we're looking at a very large area. This is a pretty large area that's going to be covered for that severe weather, especially the enhanced area, going all the way from basically Michigan all the way down into Texas. A very large area for folks here looking at severe weather. There is a tornado component with this, but I'm not expecting a major outbreak. And when I say major, I'm talking about the comparison to like a couple weeks ago, we had like 100 tornadoes. I'm not expecting anything on that level. The upper level dynamics are just not quite the same as what we were seeing back then, but we do have plenty of instability. That is juice for the atmosphere. So let's go break down the categories again. We do have that severe weather threat here. This is your tornado threat here, running about 15% there, or 10% there in the middle there, in the yellow. So that's our there. And then we got the brown area, obviously surrounded there a bit, running about 5%, and the green there about 2%. So that's our hail. That is our threat there for today. Let's get here real quick. I need to do something real quick. I need to make sure my telestrator's on, because my telestrator's like, I can't telestrate on here. You got to turn it on first. Yeah, let's get that on. There we go. So anyway, so that's our bullseye zone right there. That's where I've been kind of tracking that over the last few days and stuff. So let's go look at your wind threat, which is obviously a much bigger threat, and that's going to be the main thing. Damaging winds is going to be the big. Look at the size of this thing. I mean, we're talking 45% chance. We've got a pretty good squall line here. Look at these. And there's a couple of waves that's going to come at us as well. So a very, very large area for some damaging winds, along with that pushing off toward the east. The only thing we're lacking is kind of a lot of wind shear. That's why the tornado threat is not going to be quite as high as we've seen like with that last system. The hail threat also pretty high because of the buoyancy of the air. We got a lot of instability. We got a heat for this stuff to fuel off of that's going to get these thunderstorms cracking here for later this afternoon. All right, so that is for today. That's your day one outlook. Then you got to look at your day two, and this goes right into areas there to the East Coast. And it'll be also just as a big an area, again, all the way basically from the Northeast all the way into the Southeast, looking at that enhanced area from Virginia down in toward Alabama, Georgia, and the Carolinas. So a very large area there is going to be under the gun here. And again, there'll be a tornado risk with that as well, running about 10% through that zone. The wind threat will be very high, obviously running about that 30% in there. And then looking at your hail threat there, also running pretty high. Really not bad for this time of year, 15% there from the mid-Atlantic all the way down to the southeast. So we got 2 days of doing this. Then we get a 1 day break, and then we get another one a little bit later in the week. But we're gonna focus on this first one first. So in my neck of the woods here in Georgia, we watching this very closely here as we're expecting an enhanced area coming in for tomorrow. All right. Now so far today, this is what we've seen so far as activity is concerned. And most of it has been here out in the plains area there. As you can see, some hail reports, wind damage reports all in there right now. So that's what we've seen so far. But it's going to pick up significantly as we go into this afternoon. So I want to go ahead and break you down the latest high resolution model data. So if you kind of check where you're at in part of the country, we can check and see exactly where this is going to fall. So let me look at your regional model here. We're going to go over to this, and we're going to take a look at the forecast data on this. So hold on one second. Let me get this over here. Here I am. All right, so here we go. As we go on through here again, we're going to watch this cluster of storms here. Looks like the initial big stuff starts to flare about 2 o'clock here across Illinois and Missouri. So that's the first wave. That's going to push off toward the east. Watch that timestamp. So that pushes up into Indiana. So that'll be pretty rough and pretty hefty in there. So you got this one line forming. Then we got this next batch further down to the south. And this will moosh off toward the east. And these are the zones down here. I'll be honest with you. Look at the model data. This is where I'm most concerned for the tornadic activity down in this portion. West Tennessee, Western Kentucky, that is the zone. And then you got some more weather down here toward the south. So quite a bit of activity here as this pushes off toward the east. All right, so this goes for the next 18 hours. Now, I can take you out further. Let's look at the 6Z run here. The 12Z is just now coming in, so this will kind of prograde as you go toward Monday morning. Obviously, this starts moving into Alabama. Pretty good squall line there coming in through Alabama going into the early morning hours there and going into Georgia down to the south. So you can see that. And then as we get some daytime heating, we get some more activity kind of flaring up from the south, moving in across the mid-Atlantic, going in toward tomorrow. So again, we got 2 days of dealing with this, two different waves we're dealing with this. We got the one today, and it'll erupt about 2 o'clock, and that's about the time I'm expecting to start my live coverage at 2 o'clock, and then we'll continue on from there, and then we'll watch these storms coming into Kentucky and into Tennessee going into the afternoon. So this is going to be a very robust, I guess the overall thing with this thing is just the sheer size of the scope of how big of an area is going to be impacted by this storm. So before the storms get going here for today, folks, there's several things you need to do to prepare. Obviously, the first and foremost is to make sure that you're paying attention. You obviously get your weather apps there. If you got your weather radios, make sure you got those things on, ready to go. Have that ready to go. Get your lawn furniture secured. If we're expecting some very gusty winds in a large part of the country, make sure you get your lawn furniture secured. Trash cans, make sure they're secure as well. Anything that could kind of be debris, anything in the yard, lawn chairs, stuff like that. Get that stuff secured today before these storms kind of sweep on through here for this afternoon and going into tonight, and then again for tomorrow. Again, we're talking 175 million people impacted by this storm system. I mean, it's a very large system as far as who's going to be impacted by thunderstorms. A lot of folks are going to get caught into this. How many tornadoes we're going to get, we'll see. Again, maybe a couple dozen, maybe, but I'm not expecting a major 100-plus tornado outbreak like we had on the last one. Just the dynamics are not there. Now, the one later in the week might be a different story. The one on Wednesday and Thursday, the dynamics look a lot stronger for that one, and I'm definitely more concerned with a tornado threat in the middle of the week. But let's get through this one here first as we go through the day. Now, looking at the what's going on with the regional radar right now, you can kind of see we got those heavy thunderstorms there kind of going through Missouri right now. So we got to watch this piece of energy that's kind of moving through. This is this energy here that's ejected. I think that's what the models were kind of locking in on with that kind of moving off toward the east and kind of getting fired up as we get that daytime heating going here with the system. So right now we're not looking at any warnings out there for the moment. But that'll change quickly as we head toward this afternoon as we watch this energy begin to push off into some very buoyant air, very spring-like air. And boy, the areas of the southeast going into later this week, they're going to be like very summertime air as there are going to be some parts of Georgia, Alabama that are going to be hitting 90-degree temperatures later in the week. So just some really crazy weather here for the week ahead. Again, I just wanted to do a quick update here for this morning, get you guys prepared and ready to go here for the severe weather this afternoon. Again, we will be doing live coverage at 2 o'clock. If you are not a subscriber yet, please hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you're alerted on the content being posted, and you guys can keep a watchful eye on us as we kind of watch this weather develop this afternoon and going into tonight. We're a smaller channel, which means I can give you personalized service and answer your questions and things like that. And you know, the big boys can deal with their millions of folks that are on their page. So if you'd like to get your information here, I'd appreciate it, and thank you for supporting our channel. All right, that's your quick update here for this morning. Sorry the voice was going on me a little bit there. Anyway.